because I know them for a long, long time.
How do you feel about the Muslim media spokespeople who were chosen by the Liberals to speak on television?
Well, those spokesmen are very highly educated, quite articulate, and with impeccable background in the society. And they do condemn the terrorists, but at the same time, in a very devious manner, they try and justify those horrible acts by mentioning some grievance in other part of the world, like Palestine or Kashmir and whatever, which has little to do with this country, which affords them refuge, affords them opportunities of life, and they should be mighty grateful. And I just want to ask them at that time, the picture you are portraying is so wonderful, then where are those suicide bombers? And they will possibly say, well, they are around, and if we come to know of them, we will tell the security forces, the police authorities at once. But I have my own views on their hidden agenda, and they are not forthright condemning such things widely across and really they are not in apologetic mood for murder of, let's say, 52 innocent people on tubes and bus, and also thousands killed in World Trade Center towers. I don't see anyone, and especially I don't see any Muslim hanging his head in shame over breakup of India, and especially to remind us that when Pakistan was established, they just went after the property, and there was a loot and arson, mayhem at the largest scale one can imagine. And millions of people then were forced out of their homes, and they fled in all directions. And I think many of the people from subcontinent also are here because of the after effects of that mighty partition, which was the biggest explosion on this earth. And compared to that, 2 million slaughtered, the London casualties and New York casualties are just peanut. And I think it is the same ideology which continues and carries on. And unless there is radical change in the outlook and belief system of Muslims, if they think Quran is the word of God, then forever and ever they will be doing jihad, agitation, struggle against the non-believers and infidels.
Do you feel that people are aware of the dangers of the fundamental Islamists?
So most people I find very naive, and for them it's all the same. And this really was the situation in India of my childhood. All was same, all was peaceful, everything functioning nicely. But then suddenly that violent attack which developed, people were shocked and surprised, and here, lo and behold, India broke up in 3 fragments overnight. So the British people have no idea. And that aspect of history, I'm afraid, is not interesting for them. But there's a danger that the people here could pay a very dear price for it, for this ignorance. I think that the end will be quite sad. The reason is that the British people have been around the world. They have met, they have seen various communities, and they should have brought home some experience. And yet, in the case of Labour, they seem to shut their eyes to what experience they had, not only directly from partition of India, but also the Muslim world in general. And they seem to be here on an appeasement course, and I believe it's to get their votes, because the Muslims will vote as a bloc for the Labour Party. So for their own very narrow ends, they are really throwing the interests of this nation to the wind. So they are not a very patriotic party in this respect, because they are really creating a column which is not democratic, which is separatist, which has a very strong fundamentalist core, and with a minority which can be very disruptive, if not destructive. And Labour, with all that knowledge, is keeping the public here in ignorance and trying to say that all communities are the same, and multiculturalism means different elements, they are the same, amalgamated in a proper, decent, healthy whole. It is wrong. if the British people don't wake up, they'll get blown up. It's a very serious message. And I appeal to them to take note. Tomorrow can be too late. For all those worked in World Trade Center towers, it was too late when the government of America realized, oh my God, they were among us. So British people realized after 7th of July, oh my God, they were among us. And what if they are among us now? Should we not make efforts to find out and take preventive measures? Not rash, but considered, and taking the public along with these views and these arguments, and with proof from history, from current affairs, from modern life as well. So I have an appeal to British people now. Look, we are minorities in your care, in a way. Because we have come from our own homelands, which was set on fire by Islam. And we came here for refuge and for safety. So please remember that the peace and prosperity of this country depends on the majority community, which are you, Anglo-Saxons and other British people. So I repeat, peace and prosperity of this country depends on this majority community dominating this territory in a virile and manly manner. The moment the slightest sign of weakness, you will create a power vacuum, and you know what you will suck in. India knows what they sucked in. Because the power vacuum, 1/3 of India got blown off on one day, 15th of August 1947. And people don't have the guts now even to nominate a day of partition. They call it Day of Independence to appease the Muslims. So British people should really take note of all that.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.